Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when silence becomes more powerful than words, when absence shouts louder than presence, and when stepping away reveals more about your worth than chasing ever could. Too often we exhaust ourselves trying to prove our value, trying to be seen, trying to be accepted, trying to fit into spaces that were never designed to hold the magnitude of who we are. But let me tell you this. Sometimes the greatest transformation happens not when you give more of yourself, but when you pull back and allow the world to feel the void you leave behind. When you are always available, always giving, always showing up, people forget the treasure that you are. They take for granted the light you carry, the energy you bring, the wisdom you offer. But the moment you choose to step back, the moment you decide that your presence is not a cheap commodity but a priceless gift, that is when people begin to notice. That is when they begin to miss you. And in missing you, they begin to recognize what they once overlooked. Life is not about proving your worth to anyone. Your worth was written the moment you took your first breath. It is in your strength, your resilience, your spirit, your essence. The world doesn't need more of you stretched thin, drained, and depleted. The world needs you whole, radiant, and self-aware. And sometimes, the only way to preserve that is by creating distance, by saying no when your soul is saying enough, by walking away from those who only see your presence as background noise instead of the symphony that it truly is. Do not be afraid to let people miss you. Do not be afraid to remove your energy from places where it is not valued, because in your absence, something remarkable happens. The noise quiets, the distractions fade, and those who once overlooked you begin to realize the weight of your presence, the depth of your love, the beauty of your soul. And if they never realize it, if your absence does not move them, then you will have gained the greatest clarity of all. They were never meant to carry your value in the first place. So let them miss you. Let them feel the silence you leave behind. Let them wonder how they overlooked the brilliance that once stood before them. For in doing so, you are not only protecting your spirit, you are commanding respect, teaching the world how to treat you, and most importantly, rediscovering your own strength. And now I leave you with this. Take a step back, not in fear, but in power. Choose yourself. Protect your energy. Guard your light. And watch as everything around you begins to shift. Because when you let them miss you, when you allow the world to feel your absence, you will finally see just how much your presence was worth. There is something remarkable about absence that presence can never fully achieve. We live in a world that glorifies constant availability, a culture that teaches us to always be present, always show up, always prove ourselves worthy through our never-ending efforts to be seen. But what many fail to realize is that when you are always there, always giving, always showing up without pause, people begin to forget the true value of who you are. Familiarity breeds complacency, and when your light shines endlessly in the same corner, some will stop noticing its glow. They will begin to assume that your presence is a guarantee, that your support is an endless well, and that your love and attention will flow no matter how they treat you. But here is the truth. Sometimes the only way to remind people of your worth is to step away and let your absence do the talking. The silence has a power. Unlike anything else, it sharpens perspective. It makes people sit in the silence and feel the weight of what they no longer have at arm's reach. When you remove yourself from situations, relationships, or spaces where your presence was taken for granted, you create a void, and in that void, people begin to recognize what they once overlooked. Suddenly, the laughter they brushed aside feels irreplaceable. The encouragement they dismissed feels golden. The time and energy you gave so freely now feels like a treasure they wish they had honored. What once blended into the background now becomes the focal point, because it is no longer there. Think about it. How often do we only realize the depth of something after it is gone? How often do we truly appreciate someone's presence only in their absence? It is not because we didn't care when they were there, but because the human heart has a strange way of waking up when it feels a loss. That is the power you carry when you allow yourself to step back. You give people the opportunity to awaken to what they had. You give them the chance to miss the sound of your voice, the comfort of your support, the brilliance of your ideas, and the light of your energy. This is not about pride or manipulation. It is not about walking away to punish others. It is about realizing that your constant presence can sometimes numb people to your value. By giving too much, too often, you unintentionally make your greatness ordinary to those who should see it as extraordinary. And so, stepping back is not a sign of weakness. It is an act of wisdom. It is a decision to protect your energy, to preserve your dignity, and to allow the world to feel the difference between life with you and life without you. When you step away, you also give yourself a gift. You gain space to see things clearly. You begin to notice who reaches out and who stays silent. You begin to understand who values you for who you are, and who only valued the benefits of your presence. In absence, masks fall. Truth reveals itself, and what you discover in that silence can change the way you view not only others but also yourself. Because the deeper truth is this: you do not need to be constantly seen to be valuable. Your worth is not defined by how much attention you receive or how often you show up for people who cannot appreciate it. Your worth is eternal, undeniable, unshakable. Sometimes the world simply needs to be reminded. And the most powerful reminder you can give is to step back, let your absence echo, and allow others to recognize what they once took for granted. Your energy is not something ordinary, not something that should be tossed around casually, not something that should be drained until you are left empty. It is a gift, a sacred force that flows through you, shaping the way you love, the way you work, the way you inspire, the way you live. Yet too often people treat their energy as if it were limitless, as if it could be poured out endlessly, without consequence. They give it away to everyone who asks, to every situation that demands, to every relationship that pulls, and slowly, without even realizing it, they begin to lose the very spark that makes them who they are. The truth is, your energy was never meant to be wasted on those who cannot see its value. It was never meant to be drained by situations that diminish you, or by people who only come around when they need to take more. Your energy is precious, it is rare, and it is powerful. When you walk into a room, you shift its atmosphere. When you speak, your words carry weight. When you listen, your attention becomes healing. But if you allow yourself to be treated like a commodity, like something that is always available, always on, always giving without pause, then you strip your energy of the reverence it deserves. There is a reason diamonds are valuable. They are rare, not easily found, not available at every turn. There is a reason gold holds its worth. It is not scattered on every street corner waiting to be picked up by whoever passes by. The same is true of your energy. Its value lies in its rarity, in your ability to recognize that not everyone is worthy of access to it. When you begin to protect your energy, when you treat it as the gift it is, you elevate your life in ways you could never imagine. Protecting your energy does not mean you become cold or selfish. It means you understand boundaries. It means you know that giving endlessly to people who only take will leave you broken, while reserving your energy for those who respect it will strengthen both you and them. It means you are willing to say no when your soul says no, even if your mouth has been trained to always say yes. It means you understand that not everyone should have access to your time, your heart, your spirit. Some people are not capable of handling the weight of your energy with care. Some will abuse it, some will drain it, some will exploit it. And if you are not careful, you will wake up one day realizing you have poured everything into people and places that never deserved it in the first place. But when you start to treat your energy like the gift it is, everything changes. You begin to walk differently. You begin to carry yourself with a quiet confidence. You stop begging for seats at tables where you are not valued and start creating your own. You stop explaining your worth to people who are committed to misunderstanding it and start investing that energy into becoming the best version of yourself. You begin to see that your energy is not for everyone. It is for those who appreciate it, honor it, and grow because of it. And the more you protect it, the stronger it becomes. The more you say no to what drains you, the more power you have to say yes to what fulfills you. The more you stop scattering your energy everywhere, the more focused, potent, and unstoppable it becomes. Because at the end of the day, your energy is not a commodity to be traded, negotiated, or sold. It is a sacred gift that was entrusted to you for a reason. There is an undeniable truth that many overlook. Sometimes it is not closeness that brings understanding, but distance. When you are too close to people, too available, too entangled, their vision of you becomes blurred. They stop seeing your depth. They stop recognizing your uniqueness. They stop valuing the weight of what you bring to their lives. But the moment you create distance, the moment you step back, the fog begins to lift, and what was once taken for granted becomes clear. Distance has a way of opening eyes. It has a way of pulling away the noise and revealing what truly matters. When you are constantly present, people may assume you will always be there. They may start treating you as if you are part of the background, like the walls of their home, always there, always reliable, yet rarely acknowledged. But when you choose to step back, when you intentionally remove yourself from the spaces where you are overlooked, something profound happens. The silence you leave behind echoes louder than any words you could have spoken. People start to notice the empty chair, the missing voice, the absence of your laughter, the lack of your steady support. Suddenly what they once ignored becomes impossible to overlook. That is the power of distance. It awakens appreciation. It sparks reflection. It creates clarity. But clarity does not only happen in the hearts of others. It also happens within you. When you create distance, you gain perspective. You begin to see who truly values you and who only valued your convenience. You begin to notice patterns you couldn't see before because you were too close, too involved, too invested. Distance allows you to breathe, to step back, to evaluate, and to ask yourself who is truly pouring into me as much as I have poured into them. Who deserves access to me and who has only drained me. Clarity born from distance is like a mirror that reflects truth without distortion. It shows you who belongs in your circle and who does not. And with that clarity comes respect. Respect is never demanded with words. It is commanded through actions. When you step back, when you stop offering your energy to those who take it for granted, you send a silent message. My time has value. My heart has weight. My presence is not free. That message cannot be ignored. Those who never thought twice about you suddenly find themselves thinking deeply about what they lost. Those who dismissed your worth suddenly feel the sting of your absence. And those who truly loved and valued you will not remain silent. They will reach out, they will show up, they will make the effort, because they recognize that your presence is not something they can afford to lose. Distance is not about bitterness. It is not about punishing people or withholding yourself to manipulate emotions. It is about recognizing your own value enough to no longer allow it to be trampled on. It is about giving yourself the space to heal, to reset, to reclaim your power. It is about teaching others, without speaking a single word, how to treat you. Because the truth is, people will only value what they are afraid to lose. And sometimes the only way to make them see that is to create space. The distance you create becomes a teacher. It teaches others to respect what they once neglected. It teaches you to see with clearer eyes. And in that clarity, in that respect, a transformation takes place, not only in the way they see you, but in the way you see yourself. There is a kind of strength that the world often overlooks, a strength not built on lifting heavy burdens or standing tall in front of an audience, but on the quiet and powerful decision to choose yourself when everything around you tries to convince you otherwise. From a young age, many are conditioned to believe that choosing yourself is selfish, that you must always put others before your own needs, that your worth is tied to how much you sacrifice for everyone else. But here lies the truth. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. It is not a weakness. It is one of the greatest displays of courage. Because to choose yourself means to honor your own value, your own boundaries, and your own well-being, even when the world demands otherwise. Choosing yourself does not mean you stop loving others. It does not mean you walk away from responsibility or care only about your own desires. No, it means you understand that you cannot pour from an empty cup, that you cannot truly give if you are drained, broken, and depleted. It means you have the wisdom to know that your dreams matter, your peace matters, your joy matters, and your life is not meant to be lived in constant service to people who do not see your worth. There is strength in being able to look at your life and say, I deserve better than this. I deserve more than being overlooked. I deserve to protect my heart, my energy, and my time. Think about the countless times you bent yourself backwards for others, showing up when you were tired, saying yes when every fiber of your being wanted to say no, giving pieces of yourself to those who never gave anything in return. That may feel like love. It may feel like loyalty, but it is also how people lose themselves piece by piece until they no longer recognize the face staring back in the mirror. But when you choose yourself, you reclaim those pieces. You pick up what you gave away so freely, and you remind yourself that you are not here just to exist for others. You are here to live fully, to grow, to shine, to fulfill the purpose placed within you. Choosing yourself also means walking away from people and places that no longer serve your growth. It means saying goodbye, even when it hurts. Because deep down you know staying will cost you more than leaving ever could. It means refusing to settle for relationships where love is one-sided, for friendships that drain instead of uplift, for opportunities that shrink you instead of expanding you. That kind of strength is not loud, but it is unshakable. It is the kind of strength that comes from knowing your value so deeply that you will never again compromise it for temporary acceptance. And something remarkable happens when you choose yourself. You inspire others to do the same. You show them that it is possible to set boundaries without guilt, to walk away without bitterness, to rise without needing approval. You become a living example that strength is not about holding on tighter to things that hurt you, but about letting go so you can make room for what truly fulfills you. Choosing yourself transforms your life, because it shifts the focus from trying to be enough for others to knowing you are already enough for yourself. That choice, though simple in words, is profound in action. It requires bravery to say, I will no longer betray myself just to keep the peace. I will no longer sacrifice my own happiness just to make others comfortable. I will no longer dim my light just so others won't feel insecure in my presence. To choose yourself is to step into your power, to honor your soul, to protect your essence with the understanding that you only have one life, and it is far too precious to waste living it for everyone but you.